This episode of App Judgment is brought to you by Gamefly.
Hello and welcome to App Judgment. I'm David Prager, and today we've got a special Revision 3 resident fantasy football expert, Chris Jennings, here to join us.
How's it going?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about fantasy football, obviously. We're going to focus on what is arguably, so don't get us too controversial here, the most popular fantasy football app out there for the Android and for the iPhone, maybe for more, which is Yahoo Sports Fantasy Football. First of all, before we dive in too much, just give us a really high top-level view of fantasy sports in general. What's the deal?
Sure. Fantasy sports essentially is just taking your favorite players, drafting them all from their individual real-life teams, creating your own personal team. So when the players perform well in real life, you gain points for your personal fantasy team.
And so, let me get this. So if I don't necessarily need to support a team. So if I want to get Chad Ochocinco to play my football team, it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to support the backup quarterback, Jordan Palmer. He doesn't have to perform well for me, and I don't have to worry about XFL football not having he hate me on the team in order to perform well. I just pick the exact players I want.
Right. You're in charge. You become the general manager, essentially. So whoever player you want, you can go out and get.
So tell us a little bit about what the primary features are for being able to interface with your league on a mobile app, on the Android app or the iPhone app, versus on the computer itself.
What's great about having a mobile app is that you can make changes to your lineup on the fly. You don't need to be right in front of your computer at all times because, it can take a lot of time to manage a fantasy team. So you're able to bench players, move starters in, sign free agents, release players. So you have a lot of roster flexibility within the app.
Okay, so if I want to do, say you've already drafted your team,
right.
If I want to participate in a live draft where everyone's picking players back and forth of who's available so that you're going to want the best players for your team, can you do that from the mobile device itself, or do you actually have to be sitting in a computer or with your buddies in person?
Right, you can't really do that on the app. What you can do though is if you have a browser that supports Flash, you can go to the page on the browser and do the draft there, but yeah, you do need Flash enabled.
Okay, now what about little features like some of the alerts? Like if I have a starting quarterback and his team happens to have a bye, or say he got injured, will it automatically let me know, or will it let me accidentally lapse and forget to start a quarterback and lose out on potential points?
Well, there are actual alerts within the app, but you can set up alerts through Yahoo where they can send you email alerts of when you need to update your roster, so you will be able to receive emails and then make the updates.
Okay. What are the primary things? Like, it seems like you love the app and you'll be using it for the season. What are the primary things that you'd like to see new and different, or what are any major problems with the app?
There are a few features that could be added to the app that would be really great, that would make it even a better user experience. For one thing, you can't initiate trades within the app, so you can't just send a message to someone else in your league and propose a trade for certain players. Be nice to add that feature. Also, there's no integration of smack talk or personal messages between different managers within the league.
So if I want to be talking trash to you, I either have to do it through email or I have to do it through you have to access it through the interface.
Yeah, you'd have to go through
itself.
The browser or through a computer. You can't just send direct messages within the app.
Now what about as the admin of a league? So if I want to be having rules of what you need to do in order to get points, or if I want to be able to manage different features of how the league operates, is that something that you're able to do through the app or manage?
That's all something that needs to be set up prior to the draft. Mm-hmm. So if it's done prior to the draft, that would have to be done actually on the computer, not within the app.
Okay. So I guess going back to the pros and cons thing again, you're going to use the application. You said that you can't do live trading and that you can't do smack talk. Overall, though, would you definitely recommend this app?
Overall, I think it's a definite download because you're going to need it when you're out on the go, when you need to make a last-minute change. It's really convenient to be able to do it from your phone. Even with those lack of functions that we mentioned, it's still really useful to have.
All right, cool. Well, there you have it. Yahoo's Fantasy Sports for the iPhone and for the Android. If you are a hater, like as I mentioned earlier, and you're not a fan of Yahoo Fantasy Sports, tell us exactly what applications you'd like to see or which ones you want to talk about that you think are great for this upcoming football season. You can do that by writing us at appjudgment@revision3.com. You can also find us on Twitter, which is twitter.com/appjudgment. Also on YouTube, which is youtube.com/appjudgment. And thanks so much for watching. We hope to kick some major ass against you guys because we're going to start a Revision 3 Fantasy League right now. It's going to be in the show notes. You're going to join our league and we're going to kick your ass. It's going to be Yahoo. So get in on our league and we'll see you next time.
Hey gamers! Gamefly is the largest online video game rental service and offers you a choice from over 7,000 new and classic titles across all consoles and handhelds. With plans starting at $15.95 a month, GameFly members can rent 1 to 4 games at a time and keep them for as long as they like. There are no late fees, no due dates, and shipping is always free. If you really like the game you're playing, simply click Keep It on the GameFly website and the game is yours at a discounted price. AppJudgment fans get a 15-day free trial when they go to www.gamefly.com/appjudgment.